Hey, this is Danielle from Black Business Boom and Black Owned Nashville, and we are live with our industry expert, Cathy Anderson, who talks to us about all things nonprofits. And today, you really need to tune in whether you're a nonprofit, you're a for-profit, if you've thought about a nonprofit or for-profit business, because there's so much grant money in these streets right now. And Cathy is going to tell us how we can prepare our businesses, our for-profit businesses, as well as our nonprofit organizations to go after some of this grant money. So if you are a for-profit business, make sure you tune in. If you're a nonprofit, tune in. If you're thinking about starting one or the other, make sure you tune in and tag somebody, share this video, and let somebody know that Cathy's going to be giving us some tips on how we can get ready and make sure that we actually win these grants. So let's jump on in, because this is a hot topic. We posed a couple weeks ago. I asked folks, what is it that you need to take your business to the next level? And the number one thing was grant money. So everybody thinks they need free money. I got opinions on that, but that's another day. But everybody thinks they need the free money in order to take their business to the next level. Not only that, we've seen a lot of grant opportunities come available over the last couple of years, specifically for Black-owned businesses or Black-led organizations. But a lot of us have not been successful in actually getting our applications in and approved. So Cathy, tell us, what do we need to be doing so we can make sure we get some of this free money out here to be able to...
I've been burning for this conversation.
Yes.
I keep having these my forehead is big enough. I'm put on there. Have you applied for grants? Okay, this is what you need to do. But you guys, like you just said, it's the same for-profit, non-profit, but we have to remember the basics of business. We can't throw it out. Even though it's money that you're not paying back, it still has to be based on scalability and profitability, even with a nonprofit. There has to be some means and reason why, if they give you this money, you're going to excel. So I'll give a case in point. And this will give an example of what I mean by scalability and profitability. I've had a consultation. Hopefully they're not in this group. I don't think so. But it had to do with someone having an MLM. And if you know, multi-level marketing or whatever, and remember, that's not your business. But even with that, you can't ask for money just because you have a business. You still need that basics of, have you written out your business plan to show the marketing, the financial projections of how you still can make money if that money is given to you. So a lot of times, how am I thinking of this? You think of a small business being scalable when you can add on employees. Not independent contractors, but employees. When you talk about multiple locations, what is the finances of your current location? You know, so and they're still going to look, you guys, these are human beings too on these grant platforms. So they're still going to look, okay, if you only have 2 followers on your social media, or a page and there's no picture on it, and you're not showing some activity, what are they going to give you the money for if you're not utilizing the free ways to market? So,
and
I don't know. I went all over the place. So I hope that makes sense.
Every application I've done and the grants that I have won have asked me, what am I going to do to use this grant money to actually grow my business?
Yes.
And they ask it before and after, you know, and they want to know how their money is actually not going to just contribute to you, you know, being able to go take another vacation this year, but they want to know that you are going to actually put that money toward growing your business or growing your impact of the organization. Like, so you really need to take some time to write that down, because it's going to be asked on every application, like, how are you going to use this money to improve your business, to get more employees, to open more locations? So what are the things that you plan to do, and how can you grow your business and grow again your impact in the community as an organization if we give you this money? People,
Exactly.
it's basically an investment into your business that you don't necessarily have to pay back, but nobody wants to invest and think that it's, not going to do anything.
Right. And remember, they have to be accountable for everything they're giving to you guys. And because it's
Absolutely.
now for profits, that's a pretty much we don't know how long that gate is going to be open. That has not happened in the past. That wasn't even allowed by the government's rules.
Mhm.
So while we can get it as for profits and nonprofits, this is the time to do it. But your bank account, where are they going to put that money? They're not going to put it in your Cash App. They don't want a PayPal invoice. I mean, they don't. They want to know that you have a real bank account. And some
Grow
will
your
do like lenders where there's a third party to show the money that you've had. So maybe they won't require an audit, but they're going to go and see if money, how the money has been going in there. Because remember, on both sides, if you're structured as a S Corp, LLC, or you're a nonprofit, you have to show if the owner is getting money. Well, for a nonprofit, that's obsolete. No one owns it. So you never can just go out there and pay a bill,
Yeah.
your own personal bills. But for LLC or S Corp, you literally have to show either owner's draw or whatever. You can't just show money's coming out of there that has nothing to do with the business. That will stop you from getting grants
Okay.
or loans.
So a lot of the basics that we have said, getting your business bank account set up, and
Yeah,
anybody who still needs help with that, please reach out to me or reach out to our friends here in Nashville at
yeah,
Studio Bank.
yes,
Amelia Watts and Harry Allen are our resident bankers. They will
yeah,
happily help you get set up with your business bank account. I highly suggest having that business bank account even if you're a sole proprietor, like
yeah,
even if you're a sole proprietor, keeping that money separate,
yeah.
because also when you do the grant application, a lot of times they're going to ask to see 2 years worth of financial statements or
Yeah.
bank statements. Make
And
sure.
that's the only way to fill out a Schedule C. You can't have your mingle your for-profit
Yeah,
bills with your expenses with
your personal.
your
Yeah,
personal. You
yeah.
just can't do it no matter what it is for a sole proprietor or whatever. So these are the things, you guys. Nothing is new. So the basic foundation has to just be. The only new part is the fact that now we're getting them, besides that basic, because our color, our
Mhm,
nationality, our
mhm,
ethnicity, our gender, they are giving us first, I'll call it first dibs for lack of
mhm.
better words, but there's a certain set aside now, not just for government grants, but just over the world, just being aware. So there are some that are only designated for us, but you still
So
have to have those other checkpoints.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Now, I can't remember if it was you or someone else that was telling me that basically, and I've seen it myself, a lot of times there's overlap as far as the questions. They're going to be pretty much the same all
it
across,
is.
these applications.
It is.
So, how do you suggest people just kind of sit and have a standard document that answers most of the standard questions that they can easily pull from anytime an application becomes available?
Yeah, I absolutely do, because they are the same questions, you guys. So you can randomly look at any one, and it's basic. Even for my own business, before I speak with a potential client, I have a questionnaire. And whether they're for profit or nonprofit, the questions are pretty much the same. And I mean, I know them so well, I just roll off, your basic of what's the name of your business, having a mission. And I've heard you say that a few times on in this platform for other reasons, but knowing your mission, that makes a difference, because that's the reason that you're doing the business or the organization. Having the bank account, having your who, if they're partners, having those agreements between partners, doesn't matter if it's non-profit or for profit. um, what else? Your social media, they always ask about your social media handles. You want to have, people want to keep their personal separate. Guess what? It's not. I can go Google my own name and you're going to pull up your personal Facebook as well as your business Facebook. So you guys just keeping that all professional. Don't, anything that you don't mind getting out, understand that even a corporate or funding source is going to see that as well. That's the big ones, I think. And having everything registered and up to date with your states on all levels. And now our Department of Revenues are connected. So everybody, please make sure whether you have a for-profit or nonprofit, that federal excise tax is getting a lot of people. Oh, it's not federal, it's franchise and excise.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple more, but talk to your state reps in those departments and make sure your business or your nonprofit does not need to do other filings because they will ask for those forms too. And they will double check and see if they're up to date. So
Okay. For some reason, you can't see me. I got
I know,
I
right?
got an alert that said your camera, your something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It won't let me reconnect. Technology is not letting me be great
I
today. But
know. First it was me.
that is okay. Exactly. We're gonna make it happen. But this was a lot of great information. Cathy, if someone is like, okay, well, first of all, we have a lot of folks that ask for grant writers. So
Mhm.
I assume at least having, your mission, your vision, even your values, how you operate your programs under your nonprofit, all of those things. I think a grant writer would ask for those things as well, right?
Absolutely, because that's why a lot of times it costs. And I've come to because I don't lead with grant writing myself, although I know how. So it comes along with coaching and consulting. And
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to make it an economic way, but to do this because instead of you just not coming to us at all because you don't have those items in place, I prefer to get a client early, or even if you're potential, I'm not charging just for this kind of information. Let's get you in order first because I'm going to spend too much time. The grant writing piece can't start until you have those documents. But let's have a conversation to say what documents that you need and be clear about those. And then that way I can take off running, or whoever you hire, contract as a grant writer can take off running, and then you don't feel like, oh, I didn't get anything out of this because they're just waiting
Mm-hmm.
for your documentation. And I
Right.
hear that from a lot of grant writers. So we've just gotten to the point where it's like, if you don't have it ready, some just won't even take your money, but there's some that are taking it. And by the time you're submitting a grant, you almost ended your contract.
Right. Okay. This was very, very helpful, Cathy. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. Now, if
you're welcome.
someone is like, I need some consulting, I need some help, I want to apply for grants, I don't have all my things in order.
Yeah,
I know, first of all, you have a checklist for folks, right? To
I
help them.
do. I
How can
do.
folks access that checklist?
Yes. And I'm going to say for whether you're nonprofit or for profit, it's still a way to get to me. It's called I Am Grant Ready. That is, I thought I could put it in here, but I am grantready.com. That's one way. If you're a nonprofit, either or, you'll get that checklist. If you want to speak with me, I'm so used to saying nonprofits, is nonprofit help needed? But otherwise, you guys DM me. I'll send you the link, a Calendly link or whatever it takes. If you just want to see what I do, my website is and all of this is spelled out for a reason, beawareandempower.com. Because many of you all, please understand the resources are here. You just really you need to find them or someone else needs to show you where the resources are, make you aware of it, and you can empower yourself.
Yeah, I
So if
love
you want to fast forward that's the reason for paying us. But if you want to do it yourself, nothing but the library. Because
it.
I'm tired of people saying there's no resources out here. There's actually plenty, and they're all around us. We have to take the time to access them. But I am Grant Ready is the
Absolutely.
checklist. Beawareandempower.com is my website to see all that I do. And then if you DM me or anything like that, I'll just give you a Calendly link, find out what you need me for, and they'll have the first conversation, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and we go from there.
Love it. And we have one question before we wrap up. If you're
Yeah.
making under 50K a year as a nonprofit, should we still file a year income tax, or should we just update our status, or do both?
If you are actually a nonprofit, the IRS, Internal Revenue, as well as Tennessee, there's some rules because you have to, if you're from Tennessee, you have to file annually. So it's not you yourself, you're filing on behalf of the nonprofit organization. And there's usually a rule. We just had that conversation in our group from the mayor's office that over 50,000, usually you have to have an audit, but there's the long form that you have to file, the 990. Hopefully that makes sense. And that's if you're qualified as a 501c3. So you take yourself out of that. If you've given any money to the nonprofit, you can claim that toward the nonprofit. It's kind of gray area, but if you literally have been funding, or you can show that. But this is the money. What you're filing for is the 990 for the nonprofit, not for your own individual self.
Okay. All
Hope that makes
right.
sense.
Love it. All right. This was very, very helpful for
Thank you.
me and for everyone who tuned in. Again, reach out to Cathy if you have questions. You can
Yeah.
DM her on Facebook if you're on LinkedIn as well. Send her a message, Cathy Anderson. Also, Cathy, what's the best way for folks to email you?
Cathy and it's beawareandempower.com. Like I say, even the word and is spelled out.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Cathy.
Thank
As
you.
always, we appreciate you being a resource for the community.
Likewise, my
If you're a
pleasure.
for-profit or a nonprofit, Cathy is here to help you get ready to go after these grant dollars. So don't
Yeah.
miss out by not having your stuff together. Go get that checklist and reach out to Cathy, and she can consult with you and help you to get ready.
Yes.
All right. Thanks so
Mhm.
much for tuning in, everybody. Sorry my camera cut out. Hopefully I'll get it figured out by my next live stream, and I'll see you all later on today.